Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, wherever you are. And once again, I can't thank you much for always finding time or a minute to listen to me, to listen to the sharings that I always put across. And this time, I want us to take it a little bit slow but sure. Go ahead and grab yourself a soda or some kind of water or beer or a cup of milk. I'm going to read you. My friend always tells me, you teach, brother. I'm going to read you some things that I hope can be of help to me, to you, to them, and to the whole nation, especially the people you live with, the people I live with. Since we are, I call this a call to get back to sanity. I'm not saying that we have all sinned, but there are areas that we need to straighten up, and that's why we are coming up as ACMI to put across some information. You shudder. I always struggle when you go to public transport and you see like 40 people with their phones on TikTok, on WhatsApp, and they're all scrolling, listening to videos. If there was a test, if there was a litmus paper that you can test the content these guys are consuming, you shudder. No wonder we need to come up with such a platform that can reverse. I know that 10 negatives will need 15 positives to remove. But we cannot say we just let the bygones. That's why ACMI is coming, and today let's share. And thank you very much for always finding a minute. Once again, you know, ACMI is a mind reprogramming entity that has come to build an emotionally intelligent person, a responsible person, and a purpose-driven person. And in that, when we are reframing mindsets, we are aiming at, don't worry about the lecture, it's coming. Reprogramming beliefs, values, attitudes, and perceptions so that people can live, relate, and serve better. And we're going to find this in what I'm going to be sharing with you, because I needed to share it. My colleague was telling me, this information, if it guides with you, you would have done yourself a disservice and done the world a disservice, because this information should have been shared like last year or yesterday. So let's go and listen to, today we're having a topic about overcoming limiting beliefs, fears, and becoming better human beings. And we've just heard that for us at ACMI, we are trying to make sure we have relationships taken care of. We have parenting, we have marriage, we have service delivery, we have personal growth on the line that is positive as far as serving society is concerned. So what's our topic today? I want to bring it to you. Like I've said, I'm not going to take long with this sharing, but what's our topic today? I wanted us to look at overcoming limiting beliefs, fear, and becoming better. Because as much as we have talked about people listening too much content, I wonder what that too much content is doing to us. You know what it is doing to you, or you know what I'm talking about, because we seem to see that as much as people are consuming much content on internet or TVs or maybe in some books, I don't know if we still go there, the type of living, the kind of relationships we are having as far as we live, relate, and work better is not yet to, is still lacking, if I may say. So let's see if we can share something today that can help us upgrade. I'm going to be reading, allow me to read for whoever is going to come next time so that he can follow and to make sure I don't miss a word. So today I want to speak about one of the greatest battles of human life. And I want to tell you that it is not the battle outside us. It is not the economy. It is not our background. It is not even the people who hurt us. But the greatest battle is the battle within us. Overcoming limiting beliefs, fear, and becoming a better human being is our topic for today. But we now look at how far the greatest battle is the battle within us. Many people are not failing because they are not gifted. Many people are not failing because they are not gifted. We have talented, we have all the gifts from the Creator, but at times we fail. Myself inclusive, you inclusive, whoever is inclusive. So we want to see how such a comes to be, that we have talents but still we fail. They are not failing, or we are not failing because we are not intelligent. At times we find intelligent people failing. We are not failing because we do not have potential. We have potential. No wonder you hear books or writings on unleashing your potential, awakening the potential. Everybody, I want to believe that we have potential. But many people, we are failing because we are trapped by limiting beliefs, fear, and old mental patterns that we never learned how to break. And the reason I'm coming up with this session so that we can see if we can even attempt to break those the old mental packages that we did not know how to break, that are affecting us. And mark you, I want to first arrest this, that when I'm talking about failing, you can be with $10,000 on your account, but there is some failure somewhere, somehow. You can be with zero balance on your account, but actually that's a flat failure we're talking about. So let me have those words cleared, or that air cleared, that at failure you can be rich with money, but failure with emotional intelligence, or with being responsible. So I need us to balance that as we go ahead together. So what is these beliefs that are limiting us? What is this fear? And how can we become better human beings? So the challenge here is that we need, and this one you need to underline it, that we need to change the mind so that a person can be changed. And we know that when we change the person, the nation can be changed. Because as we all know that we are the ones who make the family. The families are the ones which make the state, or the nation, or the government, whatever you want to call it, or the society, or the community that we live in. So if we don't approach these hindrances in a positive way, we may be half-baked as human beings or as society. And so let's go to now reading. I want to go back to the whole Bible. But kindly follow me and we see if we can learn something today. Many people are failing because they are trapped by limiting beliefs, fear, and old mental patterns they never learned how to break. So this is why the powerful message of ACMI, that we need to change the mind so that we can change the person. And when we change the person, we, as day follows night, we very well know that we shall have changed the nation, or we will change the nation. This is not just a slogan we are talking about, that change the mind, change the person, change the nation. This is truth. Because before life changes on the outside, something must change on the inside. And we are looking at now, number one, many people are living with old mental software. We need to underline that one. But one of the most powerful ideas that ACMI is doing is having that program of personal reprogramming that looks at how can those old mental habits or software, how can it be broken, or how can it be handled. So you think about that the old mental software is blocking us. Let's look at a person can be 35 years old but still making decisions based on fear. The fear they learned at about 8 years old. A leader can hold an office but still be controlled by rejection from childhood. A husband or wife can love deeply but still react from an emotional wound they never healed. A brilliant student can sit in class with intelligence but fail because they secretly believe, I'm not good enough. Why? Because the human mind is programmed by experiences. Family shapes us, schools shape us, culture shapes us, pain shapes us, rejection shapes us, success shapes us, now that's success, and failure shapes us all together. And if we never examine what shaped us, we may spend all our lives repeating patterns we don't understand. That is why some people keep saying, and I need you to have this clearly, some people keep saying, that is just who I am. I don't know whether I'm the first one to hear such a word coming from my colleagues. That's just who I am. People like me never succeed. I cannot trust anyone. Why can't you trust anyone? That's a belief that somebody hears or holds and it's affecting them. I always fail. I'm not a confident person. I'm too late. That phrase, I'm too late. I'm too broken. I'm unlucky. How grave can such a statements be as far as beliefs are concerned and attitudes? But the truth is this, what you repeatedly tell yourself can quietly become the prison you live in. I need to say that again, that what you repeatedly tell yourself can quietly become the prison you live in. I want all of us to reflect on what we've been telling ourselves, or what you think your friend is always telling themselves, and see how far they are going away from their beliefs or from the stories they prophesy against themselves. Now, we have just talked about that many people are living with old mental software. Now let's see how limiting beliefs can be invisible chains. Limiting beliefs are dangerous because they are often invisible. You can't see that you are having a limiting belief. You may not see them, but they control your decisions. Like right now, somebody can say, this is all I know, so let me just switch off. But that's an action, that's a decision you have taken, and it could be a limiting belief holding you back there. A young person may not apply for an opportunity, not because they are unqualified, but because deep inside they believe they will be rejected. A businessman may never start, not because they lack ideas, but because they believe failure will embrace them. A student may stop trying, not because they are incapable, but because they have accepted life. Let me give a simple example, that students face mathematics 2 or 3 times, and soon the student begins to say, I am stupid. Mathematics has also suffered. It's like everybody who wants to fail it, they say, mathematics is hard. It's never been hard. I think I also said that mathematics is for some kind of special people, and I couldn't go for that. But now that we know, that is a limiting belief that we held, or we sometimes hold, and it brings us to that. Now, let's also look at what is true. Maybe they were discouraged, maybe they were mocked, maybe they never had a proper teacher to really put confidence in them. So the real issue is not intelligence, the real issue is belief, the belief they accepted. And once that belief is accepted, behavior follows. They stop trying, they avoid subject, the subject, they fear embarrassment, they compare themselves to others, they withdraw, all that kind of stuff that comes with a limiting belief. And what happens? The belief produces the very result they feared. This is why we must understand this point, a very powerful point, and we need to understand it truly. And the truth is that what we believe creates what we become. I hope we internalize that. go back and listen to it if you didn't grasp it a little bit well. Number 3, fear is often the gatekeeper of greatness. This one I can't take a whole day. We all know that fear has stopped more people than failure ever has. Fear has killed many dreams before they were born even. Fear has silenced voices that were meant to be lit. Fear has delayed healing. Fear has kept people in toxic circles. And sometimes people carry their fear to listen to such a message. Just because it is positive, they're like, oh, what if they talk about me? But as you all know that we now are here to share, this is not a win or lose, this is not a good or bad person. We're here to see if we can draw a balance on life issues. And fear says, don't speak, they will laugh. That's somebody will be there and be like, oh, what is this guy speaking? Oh my God, they laugh. And if I knew that somebody is going to laugh, I would say, I'm not saying nothing. But that would be fear, and this is what we're talking about. If you don't speak, who will? Fear says, don't try, you may fail. Don't apply, you may be rejected. Don't forgive, you may be hurt again. Don't forgive, you may be hurt again. You can imagine what kind of world we can get if such a thing happens to you, to your family, to your society, to your country. Don't forgive, you will be hurt again. No wonder we have wars. Don't change, you may lose who you are. We don't want to change. Why? Because of fear. But hear me carefully. You hear me carefully, please. Fear is not always a sign to stop. Sometimes fear is a sign that growth is near. So when you feel some fear, know that there's something that you need to attack, you need to embrace, which could be you're scared of, but if you face that one, then it will be a leap onto another phase, which may be progressive or better. So let's go for, if you fear, or if you're afraid to speak, maybe your voice matters. If you're afraid to start, maybe your purpose is waiting on you to start. If you're afraid to hear, maybe freedom is on the other side. And courage is not the absence of fear, we all know that. We just have to repeat it, because I know that repetition is how somebody can get, to the gist of the matter. And let's look at number 4. Your inner voice can build you, or it can destroy you. That's another powerful lesson that ACMI teaches, that the stories you tell yourself matter. The stories we tell ourselves. Now stories I get away from you as an individual, me as an individual, the stories we tell ourselves as families, the stories we tell ourselves as a community, as a nation. You hear too much stuff on the airwaves, stories about how we Ugandans, how we Africans, how we the Americans are. Those ones, they matter. Every human being has an inner voice. Now that's a little bit personal. Then that inner voice can either become a builder or a destroyer. If you keep telling yourself, I'm nothing, I am one, I am nothing, no one cares, I can never change, my past has finished me, I always win everything. Oh, somebody can say, oh, he almost ruined my speech. Those stories will come to fruition. You don't want to do that. Now, they are programming yourself for defeat. They're programming you. You're programming yourself for defeat if you repeat such stories. But if you begin to tell yourself the truth that I can learn, I can grow, I can heal, my past taught me, but it does not own me, I can become disciplined, I can become wiser, I can become better. Even if you are feeling all the negativity in the world, or you've been hurt everywhere, you've been disliked, but if you tell yourself those things that are energy giving, that are we call it refreshing, you get up. Then something begins to shift when you say that. Not overnight, but over time. We also need to mark that it won't shift overnight, but over time. the mind begins to align, the attitude begins to change, the choices begin to improve, and the life in you begins to move forward. And that is why transformation begins, and that is why transformation begins with awareness. That's why transformation begins with awareness. Before you can change your life, you must first ask, what story have I been believing? What fear have I been controlling me? What lie have I mistaken for truth? And I want you to pause a little bit. I know I've been marathon. It's been a marathon. Get yourself another sip, just like this, and then we shall come back and go to number 5. Number 5 will be emotions are not the enemy, and healed emotions are the problem.